David Scott is the Associated Press Vice President who oversees election operations. David Scott, let's begin with how the Associated Press determines when you will call a race.
Well, the thing that we're looking to do is just answer one question. Can the trailing candidates catch the leader? And at the point at which we've determined, based on our look at the vote count and our analysis of the vote count, our analysis of our election survey, AP VoteCast, when we're interviewing more than 100,000 voters as they cast their ballots, our analysis of the advance vote, registration statistics, basically all of the data that's available to us, with the vote count being at the heart of it. When we've determined that data makes it very clear that the trailing candidates can't catch the leader, that's when we're able to declare a winner.
How do you sort through all that data? That is a lot of data to sort through in a timely manner to make a call.
Yeah, so at the Associated Press, we'll be declaring winners in about 4,800 elections this November, and that assumes none of those go to a runoff, which of course some of them will in Georgia and Louisiana and the other states where there are runoffs. And so it is a tremendous amount of data, and we do it with a tremendous team. It's a big team. So our decision team at AP, 60 people, several of whom are full-time focused on elections, so they're always working on this all of the time. But under that is the team that's generating that data. And so we'll have totality across the Associated Press, about 5,000 people on the night of the general election who are working to collect the vote, count the vote, quality check it, analyze it, publish it, and then ultimately declare winners.
You mentioned VoteCast. What is that?
So VoteCast is our survey of the electorate. We are looking to talk to voters as they are in the process of casting their ballot, either in advance or on election day. We execute that survey across all 50 states, and it's really the largest survey of its kind. We're aiming to talk to more than 120,000 voters in the week leading up to election day, right up until the moment polls close. We're asking them who they voted for, but also the things that motivated them as they cast their ballots, what the issues that they cared most about, what they thought about the direction of the country, and that additional data we use to declare winners. But not only to declare winners, we also use it to tell stories and to understand the electorate and to really inform all of our coverage on election night.
Is that an exit poll by a different name?
It's not an exit poll. It's similar to it, but we're not interviewing voters as they exit polls. How America votes has changed. In the last presidential election, more than 2/3 of Americans voted in advance. So more than 2/3 of Americans weren't available to be interviewed as they exited a polling place. So VoteCast is a different methodology, but one that we think is best for this moment, reaching voters where they are to ask them how they've cast their ballots.
Why and how is it that the Associated Press can call a race right after polls close in that state?
Well, it's very rare that we would do that. It's only in a small number of states where that's possible. And it's because we can look at the data from past elections. We can understand the electoral history of a state. We can look at registration statistics. We can look at the advance vote statistics, and then we can look at results from our survey. And if all of those things line up to show that once again a candidate will have a commanding win in a state, we're able to declare a winner as soon as polls close. But it's only in a small number of places where that's possible.
When do you think you will hold off on calling a race, or what would be the circumstances?
When we're not certain. And that's our standard. Our standard is 100% accuracy. So if we are not certain that there is, without a shadow of a doubt, that the trailing candidates can't catch the leader, then we hold off. And if we think it's possible that the race could flip, that those trailing candidates have a path to victory, as small as it might be, as long as that path to victory exists, we can't say who's won yet.
How many people make the final decision?
Well, for the race for the president, it's a big team. So we start with a race caller who's looking at the race in a state very closely, very focused on a single state. They then work with an analyst who's looking at several states. If they both agree, then the decision goes up to a decision editor who reviews all of their work, and then all three of them need to agree that the race is ready to be called. And then when we get into a battleground state, or a state that we think is going to be particularly close, or a state that might ultimately lead a candidate to reach 270 electoral votes, then myself, our Washington bureau chief, and our executive editor, we all come into that conversation as well. But in reality, it's not nearly as linear as that. We're a big team. We're all together on election night. We're all looking at the data, and all of us have to agree that a race is ready to be called before we can declare a winner.
How long can those decisions take?
They go all night. I mean, we're engaged, right now in looking at the data, looking at registration statistics, looking at advanced vote statistics. We'll be engaged right at the moment polls close, and we see that vote count data come in. We look at our survey results, and we start making decisions. We start, declaring winners. But we only do that when we're certain that the trailing candidates can't catch up, and that can take some time. We're not in any hurry. Right? We're trying to be correct. That is our goal, 100% accuracy in declaring winners. So we take as long as it's necessary. And ultimately, it's not our decision. The voters have decided, and we're just interpreting and analyzing the votes that they've cast.
David Scott, thank you.
Happy to be here.